Hello chess lovers and the general public. In this video, we're going to show you more examples where the move Queen H5 or Queen H4 decides the game. We'll start with a very interesting example. In this game, after E4, C6, Caro-Kann defense, D4, D5, Knight C3, D takes E4, Knight takes E4, Black decides on Knight D7, the Smith-Loff variation. White counters with Knight G5, the modern variation. Black tried to scare away the knight with H6, but only managed to get the knight to enter its position even further with Knight E6, attacking the black queen, the C7 square, among others. All this is opening theory. Black can capture F takes E6 because then white would have made in 2, starting with Queen H5 check. So black looks to put his queen to safety with the move Queen A5 check, Bishop D2. Black must move his queen again. Remember that he must also keep defending the C7 square to avoid the fork, so Queen B6. White develops another piece with Bishop D3. And here Black, realizing that they have the D8 square vacant, thinks that now is time to capture F takes E6, since after Queen H5 check, they have King D8. And it seems that they're winning, but the reality is that there is Bishop A5, pinning the queen. We realize that the queen on H5 can be very useful. In this case, it protects the bishop that pins the black queen. If you like the video and it helps you, subscribe and leave a like. That would be very useful to me to continue bringing you content. Next, we are going to see a rather creative move. In this Ruy Lopez, the black pieces opt for the Berlin defense, Knight F6. The game continues along the path established by theory. Short castle, Knight takes E4, D4, E takes D4, Rook E1, F5, Knight takes D4, where Black, instead of continuing with Knight takes D4, in an attempt to prevent White from having his queen comfortably centralized on D4, decides to play Bishop C5, which is a terrible mistake. Pause the video if you want to solve it for yourself. White exploits the weakness of the E8 H5 diagonal and the undefended bishop on C5 with a wonderful move Rook takes E4 check, exchange sacrifice, and after F takes E4, White has managed to divert the pawn from the 5th rank. And with the 5th rank cleared comes Queen H5 check, double attack, G6, Queen takes C5. If we apply the count with the traditional value of the pieces, one rook and one pawn have been exchanged for 2 minor pieces. That is, no material has been won. But if we evaluate the position according to other elements of chess, such as development, we see that White has 3 developed pieces. Also, the C1 bishop already has an open diagonal, and it's ready to be improved in the next move. By contrast, if Black develops one this turn, they'll only have 2 developed pieces. And if we analyze the pawn structure, we see that Black has many weak squares between his kingside pawns. Taking all this into account, White is much better. In this last example, White plays the Scotch Gambit with Bishop C4. The game continues with Bishop E7, C3, Knight F6, E5, Knight E4, and after Bishop D5, Black makes the mistake Knight G5. Pause the video if you want to solve it. The knight seems to be safe and sound on this square, because despite being attacked twice, it's also defended twice. But they didn't count on Knight takes G5, which also clears the queen's path to H5. Bishop takes G5, Queen H5, an unexpected double threat. The queen adds a second attacker to the bishop on G5, which is only defended by the black queen, while also threatening checkmate on F7. Black can't defend both threats in one turn. Castles short to avoid checkmate, and after Bishop takes G5, White is a piece for a pawn up. In the end, we see that the queen on H5 can be part of many tactical shots, and can be the key to winning your games in the opening, so you should learn to recognize this pattern. Some signals are the H5 or H4 square must be available, meaning it must not be covered by the opponent's pieces. The weakness of the E8 H5 or E1 H4 diagonal, which although not essential, if the queen can reach H5 or H4 with check, increases the chances of finding a tactic. Loose pieces or pawns located on the 5th or 4th rank depending on whether white or black is playing, or even pieces defended on these ranks, but which are also attacked the same number of times as they're being defended, can also be vulnerable, as we saw in this last example. As a final sign, if Queen H5 or Queen H4 comes with threats, it's another sign that there may be a tactic. None of these signs will guarantee you 100% that there's a tactic, but they give hints that there may be one. So always remember to calculate your first moves. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, bye!